can't.
Pay for it.
I can't.
I guarantee it.
Calm down. Calm down, brother.
Come to the fight. Come to the fight.
They probably gonna get you f***ed up.
Because Lamont Roach can fight, and he thinks he's going to see the better Gervonta Davis, come out this time. I certainly hope we do.
Gervonta Davis boldly claims he will dominate Lamont Roach in the rematch and shuts down talk of an upset. He stakes a $5 million bet on knocking Roach out, showing full confidence in his skills and dismissing public belief that Roach has any real chance of winning the second fight.
Beat his ass.
You can't do shit.
For real. Man, be quiet.
I don't give a y'all was quiet. Y'all, if y'all was loud,
we got the whole hood over there. Like twist it up. I don't give a about none of that.
Do whatever
I don't
y'all
care about
want.
none of
My
that.
mother, he can't stop
no
nothing
hood,
over here.
none of that.
Not at all.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna f him up.
Not at all. Never. Nothing's gonna get f***ed up over here. What do I look like getting f***ed up?
Okay. Okay. Okay.
That shit ain't never gonna stop nothing over here.
And he gonna pay for it. I guarantee he pay for it.
I can't.
I guarantee it.
Calm down. Calm down, brother.
Come to the fight. Come to the fight.
They probably gonna get you f***ed up. Look, fool. Hey, fool. This me and you, fool. This me and you, fool.
Tank.
This me and you, fool.
Yeah.
Don't worry about them. They might get you. They gonna trick you out your spot. They gonna trick you out your spot, fool. Don't worry about them.
Come on, stop. Y'all know what's going on. Y'all know how I'm coming. Y'all know how I'm coming. So stop it. Y'all gonna make it hard for him. That's what y'all gonna do. Y'all gonna make it hard for him.
The excitement surrounding this rematch brings back memories of Floyd Mayweather's first fight with Marcos Maidana. Maidana dominated large stretches of their first bout, leading many to believe he would win the rematch. But in the second fight, Floyd adjusted his strategy and outclassed Maidana with ease. A similar scenario may unfold between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach. Roach looks superior in their initial bout, and public opinion has swayed in their favor. However, Davis is known for adapting well, and he now has a second chance to correct past mistakes and shift the narrative in his favor.
YouTube, we're back again with some more boxing news in the boxing world. Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach for the rematch is on the horizon. It will be happening this year, and it will be happening very, very soon. This is the thing, YouTube. If y'all agree with me on what I'm about to tell y'all, I want y'all to throw the thumbs up, because this is what's gonna happen. If y'all remember the Mayweather and Maidana match, where everybody thought Maidana beat Mayweather in the first match when they fought each other, like he dominated him, he beat him. Same thing goes here. Lamont Roach, everybody's saying that he dominated Gervonta Davis, but this is not going to happen in the rematch. Gervonta Davis is going to dominate Lamont Roach. If y'all agree with me on what I'm telling y'all, this is just like the Mayweather-Maidana fight. I'm trying to tell you. Lamont Roach is going to lose in the rematch, and that's a guarantee. That's not a prediction. That is a spoiler. If y'all agree with me, throw a thumbs up. And if you ain't got Eat Up Keeps the News, subscribe.
After the controversial outcome of the first encounter, Gervonta Davis made changes to his training camp. He brought in a new coach to refine his techniques and bring fresh discipline. This decision was not just strategic but personal, a way to remove distractions and ensure total focus. Davis aims to eliminate every error that allowed Roach to gain momentum. The introduction of new training methods shows Davis's commitment to redemption, not just participation. He is training with intensity, preparing for every possibility in the ring.
Yo, what's going on, fight fans? Check it out. It looks like Gervonta Davis has a new coach. Now, this is Coach Mustafa. He's a well-known coach down in the Atlanta area, and it looks like he's starting to train with him. I know he has that upcoming rematch coming up. It looks like it's slated for June. Now, this coach is known for his working on timing, precision, accuracy. Those are some of the things that this coach is well known for. He's also been training Tevin Farmer for his past 2 fights. Now, what does this mean for Tank? Is he leaving Coach Kyle and Coach Kenny, or adding Coach Mustafa to the team? Is it smart to switch trainers so close to a fight? Let me know what y'all think down in the comments below.
This is not just another bout, it's the most highly talked about rematch of the year. Lamont Roach has been the only fighter to truly challenge Gervonta Davis in recent memory. Their previous battle left fans with more questions than answers. Was Roach just lucky, or is he really better? The rematch promises clarity. People want to see if Roach can repeat or improve on his performance, or if Davis can reassert his dominance. The stakes are high, and both fighters know what's on the line: reputation, legacy, and pride.
promoter Gary Jonas shed some light on the negotiations for the rematch. While he didn't give too many details, Jonas did say that the second bout between Davis and Roach Jr. is all but finalized. Let's hear what he got to say right now.
Important question on everyone's mind. How close is the rematch? How big will it be? How close is it to getting done?
Very close. It's in my mind, it's a done deal, but there are formalities, but it's a done deal and it's not far off.
Lamont Roach continues to lead with humility, faith, and determination. His calm demeanor contrasts with the usual pre-fight bravado. Roach doesn't rely on flash. He lets his work ethic speak for itself. He trains hard, trusts his preparation, and believes his path is guided by something greater. His mentality has remained consistent even as the spotlight grows. That kind of mental strength has helped him push through challenges and reach this high level. Roach is ready, not just physically, but spiritually and emotionally.
Who am I here with today?
Lamont Roach Jr.
I don't know who you are, man. What do you do for a living?
And I box.
How long have you been boxing for?
I've been boxing since I was 9 years old, so 20 years.
How old were you when you made your first million?
I was 29.
You made some money. What's the best piece of advice about money you've received throughout your career?
Save that money gonna save you.
Has there ever been one experience where you spent too much money than you thought you should have, that you regret?
That I regret? No, but there's been a lot of times where I shouldn't have spent as much money as I did.
Is there one piece of advice that now that you've been boxing for a couple of years, you could tell your younger self about boxing?
My advice to my younger self would be keep going. You're going to end up exactly where you're supposed to be at. As long as you work hard, put your faith in God, and you just keep pushing.
What made you really stand out as a boxer?
My hard work, determination to be the best.
Is there one boxer that you think inspires you the most with your play style?
I take bits and pieces from all boxers, even some of my opponents and stuff like that.
Anyone specifically?
No, not necessarily.
What keeps you motivated to keep pushing hard still?
It's definitely hard for me to give up because I know what's at stake. I know what can happen. I know what can happen with hard work. But if I ever feel like giving up, my motivation would be my son, my family, the ones who behind me 100%. They've been down at the bottom with me, so they coming up top with me.
Where can they find you on social media, man?
1of1X.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you, bro.
The verbal exchanges have escalated, but ultimately, talk means nothing when the bell rings. The rematch is where truths are revealed and reputations are built or destroyed. All the online arguments and interviews will fade into the background once punches start landing. This fight will be the final word. Fans, critics, and both camps have their opinions, but none of them matter compared to what happens in the ring. When it's over, the better man will be clear for everyone to see.
I just want to know, when is the rematch going to happen at this point? Because I'm not going to lie, for it to be a whole month later and y'all still arguing over who actually won, it's just really like, okay, yeah, run it back, because we got to go ahead and settle this, squabble this up. I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to say neither fighter in here is shitty, okay? Because after the fight I seen on March 1st, yeah, they both was tagging shit, both getting up with each other, okay? I feel like this is the perfect match. If anybody's gonna do a rematch, you need to be down, period. And Gervonta was stinging him. I'm not gonna lie, he was stinging him. Great fight for him. But I'm not gonna lie, he came out knowing what he was trying to do. Y'all have to give it to him. Like, y'all just be hating, okay? Y'all can't get in the ring and fucking fight. Y'all just be hating. At least I'm giving them no day props, okay? Because Gervonta had a great fight. Don't get me wrong. My money was on him. But I think what messed him up was the fact that when he came out, y'all know he usually be 2 steps ahead. He was 3 steps ahead. I feel like he already had Tank figured out. And he definitely was not expecting that. And him, on the other hand, I think he came in really having something to prove. I'm not going to lie, y'all. Like, it was a really good fight. And I feel like this is how I see it. In the beginning of the fight, he was stinking, back to back, you know what I'm saying? And then at the end of the fight, that's when he finally kicked it up. But I seen consistency through him through the whole fight. I'm not gonna lie, like, so I just feel like the rematch should happen because never know. He might, now that he was 3 steps ahead, become 8 steps ahead, and he might really knock his butt down. But at the end of the day, it's like, we need this rematch because I don't think this is ever gonna be a dispute that is settled and, you know, officially he won, he lost until they fight. Like, we gotta see it.
After facing doubt and criticism, Gervonta Davis is entering the ring with a point to prove. The questions about his focus, drive, and sharpness have fueled his motivation. He is working tirelessly in training, aiming to dominate and erase any narrative that he's past his prime. Davis knows that critics feed on weakness, so he's closing every gap that Roach exploited before. His camp is focused, technical, and intense. Davis wants more than a win. He wants a statement.
Everybody really think Tank go take the L. I've been seeing it. They said it's over. They think that this time Lamont go in more confident, knowing that basically he can, you know, really take it to Tank. Yeah, I want him to go in there confident. He's very skilled. Go in there confident because you gonna go up against a different Tank. Like I told y'all in previous videos, he go in there confident thinking he could walk Tank down. Don't forget, with Tank, if he get you on that button, them lights going off, I don't care who you is. Remember how it ended up with Frank Martin? So yeah, don't go in there thinking that you going against like somebody that, like Ryan Garcia, somebody that's go fold. You're going against Gervonta Tank Davis. And I think that confidence is what's going to get Lamont dropped. Because one thing I will say, with Tank, that wasn't your best fight against Lamont, bro. I feel like you was in your head too much. You was overconfident, and you was really just, your mind was in y'all story, the lore and everything with y'all history. You ain't going there like, I'm fighting a stranger. You going there like, oh, this Lamont. This from the same camp. We from the same area. But now I think that whole situation woke him up, because you got to think, Tank not used to losing. He not used to people being against him. He not used to being the one that like got to step back from the situation. That's why I think he being hushed right now, because when he come this time, it ain't no talking. And that's why I think it's scary, because we never see Tank in that mode where he don't say a word. I think this gonna be a different Tank. And what's crazy is Tank used to be like that in the beginning, like when he was with Floyd. Like, I'm talking about Tank with the fade, with the waves, bro. He ain't used to be on that showboat and stuff until he got, like, you know, a little bit more in the boxing, you know, thing. Of course, once you with Floyd, you gonna start being flashy and doing backflips off the ring. But in his beginning stages, dude wasn't playing. He was dropping I think that's what he about to go to, bro. And we know that people like, man, did he take Calvin off his team? Nah, like he said, Calvin, his boy. I think he just rocking with somebody else right now to get him some sharper skills, you know, to change up his skill and what people know him by. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I think Tank go take it to Lamont. And that's not me being biased. I think we ain't ever seen Tank like this before.
Roach has shown nothing but discipline and focus in the build-up to this rematch. He understands the weight of the moment and the threat Davis still poses. Unlike others who may ride the high of one performance, Roach is treating this as a new war. He's not overconfident. He's alert. He's analyzing Davis's improvements, adjusting his game, and preparing for every possibility. That level of awareness and professionalism reflects the maturity of a fighter who's not just skilled, but mentally elite. Keyshawn Davis offered a perspective many fans hadn't considered. He questioned Gervonta's passion for boxing, suggesting the hunger may be fading. In contrast, Roach looks more inspired than ever. The mental imbalance could define the rematch. Keyshawn hinted that the emotional investment may not be equal, and in a sport where fire fuels victory, that matters. If Gervonta has doubts or lacks full passion, it gives Roach a psychological edge. The contrast between one fighter peaking and the other possibly plateauing adds drama and unpredictability.
Do you think he wins that rematch with Lamont Roach?
I don't know, honestly. I really don't know. It's a 50-50 fight. It's a 50-50 fight. I don't know, honestly. I really don't know.
Does a lot of it hinge on Gervonta and like which version he shows up with? And no disrespect to Roach, but you know what I mean.
No, that is disrespectful to Roach, and like y'all fight fans gotta realize that is disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Like he in there fighting another grown man that ain't going for none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? And you don't think Roach is gonna come with another game plan or something better or this, that, and third. So when they had a rematch, are y'all still gonna say, oh, Take's still not his full self ever since he fought whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, like Roach is a hell of a fighter. He proved he was a hell of a fighter, so he need to get that credit. He's a hell of a fighter. I don't know who's gonna win that rematch. I honestly feel like Tank is losing love for the sport, or he lost the love for the sport, and he's no longer hungry anymore.
Well, that's what I was getting at.
Yet you got a guy that's just super hungry and never had no attention, now getting all his attention, and now he get around two of his attention. Is like shit. That's kind of hard to beat. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, Tank is he's still a great fighter. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. It's 50-50. And to your point, we were saying, okay, he lost love of the sport. I don't really think Canelo got the same love he had for the sport when he was coming up.
Davis has brought in Kenny Ellis, a respected name in the training world, to help tighten every loose end. Ellis is known for strict routines, attention to detail, and psychological preparation. Under his watch, Davis is correcting technical flaws, improving stamina, and building a stronger mindset. Ellis is not just training Davis physically, he's helping him think better in the ring. Their chemistry could be the key to Gervonta reclaiming his dominance. This new version of Davis is more balanced, more structured, and more dangerous.
He's one of the best trainers in boxing, second guy in the corner. is responsible for a lot of the real tactical decisions and tactical analysis that goes on in Gervonta Davis's corner. So you have Coach Calvin, and Coach Calvin is the head trainer, and you have Coach Kenny, who really specializes on preparing game plans specifically for opponents. So to have him talk about what's going on with Lamont Roach, I thought was interesting and insightful, because what he said was that, one, he's not falling for the okie doke. When Mill City asked him, hey, what do you think about the fact that, that Lamont Roach was seen at a basketball game chugging a beer? And I would have added to the question that you see Lamont Roach out giving a bunch of interviews, doing the interview circuit, right? Kind of being a little bit out of character leading into the rematch. Do you think, and this is what Mill City asked, do you think that is something you guys are taking in consideration in preparation for the fight? And what Kenny Ellis said was, look, man, we're not falling for the banana in the tailpipe. We know what Lamont Roach brings to the table. And he says that Lamont Roach is, we're not believing that he's out there drinking or blowing up a bunch of weight and all of that. He says what most people say: hey, we're going to prepare for the best version of Lamont Roach that is going to, that'll come for us. But the way that he saw the fight coming out was he said he sees it like the fight before, a lot of really crisp shots landing.
The first fight showed weaknesses in Davis's performance that surprised many. He appeared sluggish, his reactions were slow, and his energy faded early. Roach took advantage of those openings and changed the pace of the match. That version of Davis seemed unprepared, physically and mentally. The rematch gives him the chance to rewrite that impression. It's an opportunity to show that what fans saw before was an off night, not a new norm. Redemption is within reach, but only if he's truly corrected those flaws. Gervonta Davis started the fight well, landing sharp combinations and showing good movement. His power and timing were on display, but his performance declined as the rounds progressed. Analysts like Ennis believe those early rounds show that Davis still has the skill, he just needs to maintain it. The rematch gives him the platform to deliver a complete performance from start to finish. If he can sustain his early intensity throughout, Roach will have a very different challenge on his hands.
This draw with Lamont Roach, people looking at it as controversial because of the whole knee. What do you think of the fight?
It was a great fight. I had it 7-5 Tank, or you can make it the draw, but I feel like Lamont, he did good. He did a great job, actually. I just don't think he did enough to pull it off. And I feel like people was overlooking what Tank was doing in the first 5-6 rounds. He was boxing and frustrating him a little bit. But Lamont, like I said before, Lamont did a great job.
Yeah, some people had it Tank, some people had it draw, some people had it Lamont. Do you think Tank gets a lot of criticism for not knocking Lamont out and Lamont not being a big name, so they overblow it?
I think so, yeah, and I feel like people just don't like Tank to a point where any little thing, just because he ain't knock him out, he probably feel as though that he lost, and he didn't, or it was a draw. I feel like Tank was doing a lot of smart things in the beginning, moving a little bit too much, but I feel like he was still frustrating him and things like that. And I think Tank did a good job. He looked sharp to me. I don't know. People just be talking. At the end of the day, you can't please everybody.
Were you surprised that Lamont was in spots winning the exchanges and kind of caught Tank with some good shots that he visibly I got to reset?
Yeah.
Veteran trainer Teddy Atlas has noted that what makes Davis dangerous is not just his power, but his thinking. Davis doesn't rush. He observes, calculates, and then strikes. He's capable of adjusting his approach depending on how the fight evolves. That ability to remain composed and adapt on the fly makes him unpredictable. If Davis uses that to its full potential, Roach will have a hard time keeping up. Atlas believes that mental flexibility is what could swing the rematch in Davis's favor.
He's going to try to get to us, but we're going to frustrate him. He doesn't get frustrated. He takes his time. He's deliberate. A lot of times at the beginning, people thought he was just a seek and destroy missile. They thought he was just a guy that got to you. And they thought that he would get over anxious. He don't get over anxious. He takes his time. He slowly closes those gaps. Inch by inch, step by step, and then he gets to you.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned. Until next time.